Kris from my girlfriend's quilt shop, and together we are working on Quilting Through the Seasons from Kimberbell Designs. And this quilt is phenomenal, is it not? In this video today, we're going to talk about doing pieced blocks in the hoop. That's right. Did you know that you can actually piece a block inside the machine embroidery hoop? Never once taken it to a sewing machine. It's pretty incredible, and it's a great learning technique that I'm excited to go over with you today. So let's begin by going to page 45 in our books. And this is the pieced block stripes. Now you're going to actually make two of them for this quilt. And you can see here that I've already created the first one. And this is the one that you see pictured right here as stripes 1. You're going to notice the same colors, green, then gray, and then so forth, according to the colors that are here. Now, if you get colors mixed up, not a big deal, but you know, you do like to try and keep it as clear as you can with the instructions. So stripes 1 block already complete. Now it's time to move on to stripes 2. Let's take a closer look at what our options are. For block by block quilting, you'll see it right here. If you choose not to do block by block quilting, you'll go to option 2 in hooping instructions. Stripes 2 design tells me that I want to pull up the KDQ 289 x1 6x6 vertical design. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I align the block embroidery file with the quilting design file so that both are centered. Now, there's going to be a few steps that are a little bit different here than what we are normally used to. So let's pay close attention to what is happening here. I'm going to first begin by pulling up my background quilting file, and that is 289 6x6, and I'll hit set. At this point, I want to add my pieced block onto that. And don't worry if you're thinking for a moment, wait a minute, Kris, don't we have that afterwards? The answer is yes, but we do it in a little bit different order. You'll see here in just a moment. And I'm going to pull up KD815 5x7 stripes and also hit set and embroidery. I have my hoop already filled with the light mesh cutaway stabilizer and place it into the machine. And the first stitch is going to be the placement line for where to place my batting. Place the batting to cover over the placement line, and now it's going to do the tack down stitch. Now, normally this is the time when I would go back to the machine and it would stitch the placement outline for where to place my background fabric. However, this time, actually, I need to skip a step or two. And the reason for that is because I need to skip ahead to actually having the template stitch out for where my pieced lines are going to go. So I'm going to show you at the machine how to move forward. And then once those pieced strips have been done, then we'll be able to actually move backwards and complete the background quilting so that it now lays on top of our piece block. Is it a little fuzzy? Don't you worry. Let's go over to the machine and I'll show you how it's done. On step 3, you're going to see a placement outline for that background fabric, but I don't want that quite yet. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to skip ahead a few steps. So right down here with my needle plus minus, I'm going to select that and move through the different steps. You'll see background quilting there, but I'm not quite ready for it yet. There is where I want to be. So I'm on step 6 of the design now that it's a combined file. And this is going to stitch out my outlines for where to place my fabric. So with step 6 being selected, I'm now ready to put my foot down on my machine and begin stitching. Okay, please open up your books to page 45 so that, again, you're following along with me. And what I've done is that I've just stitched the piecing template directly onto the batting. And the first thing tells me is that I'm going to stitch the placement line. I place piece 1 and 2 right sides together, aligning one long edge, and place the fabrics with the aligned long edge centered along the left side of the placement line, and with piece 2 on top. Well, if you're not sure which is piece 1, which is piece 2, let me have you refer back to this diagram right up here. The first one is piece 1, and that is going to be a little bit wider of the other pieces of fabric. You're going to see here, this is 2.5 inches, where the others are just 2. And so this is number 1 on here, and number 2 position is this gray. So I'm going to place the gray on top of this, right sides together, and we're going to line it up against the first placement line that we'll stitch out. So again, remembering that these 2 pieces are right sides together, I'm going to take this long edge and just line it up against that placement line that just barely stitched out, just like that. The next thing we need to do is flip the fabric over. And so it's just like as if we were at a sewing machine, right? We always have right sides together, we stitch it, and then we bring that top fabric over to the side. Well, the same thing happens in our embroidery machine. And there's a couple ways to kind of keep it into place, and that would be to press it with an iron, right? You certainly could use an iron as long as it fits inside your hoop. Just be very careful, and also do it on a heat-resistant surface. However, there's one little tool here that we love here at my girlfriend's quilt shop, and that is this one. It's the fabric folding pin by Clover. And basically what it is it's a vial that's filled with water, and then it has just a few drops of this fabric softening solution inside of it. You just go ahead and put a few drops in there, and then what I'm going to do, let's take a look. We're going to take this brush and just run it right over top of that seam that we just sewed and bring it over to the side. And then with a finger press, take a look at that. That seam is nice and flat and ready to go. So it's something that we absolutely love, and you don't have to mess with an iron. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and take it back to the machine. It's going to do the tack down stitch to hold it into place, as well as that stitch becomes my trim line, and it also becomes the placement line for where to place my next piece of fabric, which is fabric number 3, which is the green. So you want to think of this line kind of as threefold. One, that it has tacked down that fabric, so it's not going anywhere. 2, it's the trim line for where to trim up my excess fabric, and I'll remove that. And 3, it's my placement line as to where to put the green fabric. Now I'll take it back into the machine, and it will stitch this one down. Now, one of the beauties, again, of being able to use the fabric folding pin is that I don't even have to take this out of the machine. I can simply do my work right here and not have to mess with a hot iron. Bring it over top and do a little finger press all the way down that seam. And we'll go back to doing the placement line again, and the tack down and the trim line and all the things, right? And you're going to just repeat all these same steps over and over again until the entire block has been covered with the 6 strips. So all 6 of my strips have been stitched down, and now what's going to happen is it's simply going to do another tack down stitch along the top and along the bottom just to hold it all together into place. Now you may think that the design is all over. However, remember that background quilting, we need to go backwards a little bit or forwards, depending on how you want to do it, just until we see the background quilting files actually show up on the machine. So let's take a look at the screen in front of us. And I'm now at the very beginning, so I might as well just continue forward. And there you have it. Here are our quilting designs. And so I'm going to now switch out my thread color to a little bit of a light taupe that I'm using here. And then I'll begin to watch the magic happen, which, you know me, I love the background quilting. So let's go ahead and see this take place. It's pretty fun. Let's go ahead and pop this out of the hoop and square this baby up, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and use the orange pop rulers to do this. I'm using the 6.5 by 6.5 inch one. And you will notice that on the ruler are some arrows. I'm going to place those arrows centered right along the center seam line here and along the top and the bottom edges here. So arrow, seam line, arrow, seam line. There we go. So this is going to be my perfect 6.5 inch square. And I'm also going to use the help of the one just a little bit larger, again, just so I have something a little bit more substantial to hold on to. Place my rotary cutter in the extended corner channel and carefully slice up to the top. And there you have it. Oh my goodness, this is so, so, so cute. I'm excited. Now we have 2 completed piece blocks, and they're pretty darn cute, I think. I'm excited to put them into the quilt. Now, you'll also notice that there are some additional blocks that are also pieced in the hoop, and this is more of a square and a square. As you can see here, just note that the same technique is for both blocks, whether you're doing the simple stripes or you're going a little bit further into doing a square and a square. It's all the same idea. With that being said, this video for being able to piece in the hoop is completely done, and I'm excited for you to get your main quilt finished. That's the challenge, my friends, is let's go ahead and get all of the different parts of the main quilt done. We'll have another video added on a little bit later, which is going to show you how to do your borders. Borders are not difficult at all. It seems a little much at first. You kind of get that little pitter patter in your heart thinking, can I do this? I'm here to say you absolutely can. So don't you worry one bit. I'll take you again through that process of being able to do the background quilting on your borders, add those borders at the very end when your main quilt has been completed. Now, I hope you'll also follow along with me, and the schedule will be out soon as to when we are going to do the embellishments. All of those embellishments are so much fun. You're going to be amazed at how they come together. The techniques are going to blow you away. I can't wait. But we are going to do those as live sessions. Don't you worry. If you can't make it live, we'll make sure they're recorded so that you can always go back and follow along with us. All right. Have fun, my friends. I want to see your pictures. Definitely post on social media. Be sure to use the hashtag #MyGirlfriendsQuiltShop, all one word, as well as Kimberbell. That'd be a lot of fun to see what you're up to and how your projects are coming along. So if you're new to us, we hope that you will like and subscribe to our channel so that you can be the first to know when a new video is released. Thanks, everyone. Happy sewing, and I can't wait to see what you do. Bye-bye.